So I have an announcement to make. We announced this on my wife's birthday, but my wife is pregnant and we have a baby on the way. And we are very excited. This will be our first child. And it's been a lot. I kept it under wraps for a few months because we just wanted to make sure everything is going smooth. And now we wanted to give the news. So a lot is coming with that. She's been sick in her first trimester, so we've been trying to get through all that with her nausea and fatigue. But so far, so good, and now get to see the process of becoming a father and trying to prepare for fatherhood. I talked to a few friends who recommended some books. I haven't really looked into them yet, but I should probably start reading and getting familiar with the literature. I've been trying to find like good traditional Catholic material on raising a family, fatherhood, parenthood, and the best way, to raise a family in the Catholic faith. So I'm sure there's a lot out there, probably a lot of newer stuff, maybe some old. I met with a priest a few weeks ago, a second priest. I met with one before, and this one, he's a good priest, and he was helpful. I told him how we're struggling financially, and he said he's happy that we're poor, which is good. I know what he was trying to tell me, which is like it's going to help us rely on God and figure things out, strengthen our relationship with God, uh, eating and living prudently and frugally. So it's one step at a time. My wife's going through it with this pregnancy, and I'm just trying to be there for her and do what I can. So it's forced me to work extra, do a lot of the house tasks at home, and while she rests because it hasn't been good. I'm hoping though, as we get through the end of this first trimester, that things will lighten up with her, and the pain will subside. But that's just part of the process with uh, childbirth. I always seeing this pregnancy reminds me a lot of Genesis, when God basically punishes Adam and Eve, and the reason we have pains of childbirth. So it makes me think this is what we are supposed to deal with. These are the consequences of sin. And I'm supposed to labor. She's supposed to labor with her body, and I'm supposed to labor by the sweat of my brow. So I got to figure it out. I'm praying to God every day, asking what His will is for me, and giving me the strength and the fortitude and the courage to continue working and focusing diligently. Yeah, I'm hoping that these videos will make me be more confident as a speaker. I watch these back and I'm like, sometimes it's just cringe, but sometimes it's better than I thought. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm actually making a point, but I hope it can help me develop my speech and how I talk. I watch all these YouTube videos, people, and starting to study their cadence, their pronunciation. I want to come off more authentic because some of the stuff is like forced, but there's a few people I follow and I'm just like, wow, uh they have skills in being charismatic, or they have a skill in being uh having charisma. So I don't know. I guess that takes time. Maybe I won't be the best speaker, but hopefully I can just reach people that will watch this and can relate, because I think we need to continue as Catholics to evangelize. Hopefully I can reach out to people and just share my faith, share where I've been. I'm a Catholic revert, and God blessed me with finding a wife. Now we have a child on the way, and people out there are struggling. They're trying to figure out life. They're younger than me, trying to find a wife, which is hard to do in this day. Hey, Pio. Hey, buddy. And it's just tough out there. Um, I can share my experience, and hopefully that helps. You know, my wife and I, we met on Catholic Match, and I was on there for 3 years, and it was rough. It was real rough. Uh, the dating market. So like when I came back with a vengeance to get in the faith. Um, I fell into the trad circles and was watching a lot of content online that catechized me, because I didn't have a good catechesis when I was a kid. I went to Catholic school and I didn't learn anything. So when I came back, I learned about traditional Catholicism, and it was everything that I didn't even know of, learning about the Latin Mass. And that's what brought me back. And it took me a while to find a Latin Mass, but when I found traditional community, I was so grateful, so happy, felt at home. And I was like, this is this is the life I want to live. Uh, a godly and saintly life. And so I say that because when I started dating online, I would either find women that were traditional, or they took their faith seriously, or I found a bunch of like lukewarm Catholic women that didn't believe in all of the tenets of Catholicism, like the Holy Eucharist, or sex before marriage, or contraception. And I was shocked. And I would go on dates, or I would talk to women on Catholic Match, and it was uh, it was hard because they were in a lukewarm phase where they had been Catholic their whole life, but they didn't really. They took their faith somewhat seriously, like going to mass on Sundays, but they didn't really go deeper, because maybe they were just used to the Novus Ordo um, mass, and just became lukewarm. But they never really sought to look into the more traditional circles. And I think traditional Catholicism has been a renaissance over the past 5 years, probably since the pandemic. And so they were more lukewarm, and I was like, okay, well, I'm taking this serious, because I've been I've been through hell. I've been in the secular world, and um, it's no joke. We need our we need our we need our souls to be saved, and I'm taking my faith seriously. So, or I would meet a girl that was a serious Catholic, but because I was a revert and was out of the faith for so long and had a promiscuous past, you could say, um, they couldn't relate. They couldn't relate to that. So I was in this middle ground of, I was like trying to find an equally yoked person, and it was tough. It was really tough. So I'm sure guys today are probably experiencing that too, where women that they meet either online or in church or at any Catholic event, they're experiencing like either they're not finding a woman that's taking their faith seriously or doesn't understand traditional Catholicism, or they are not, living up to their standards, or they still have some growing to do. I don't know. It's tough, but from my experience, it just takes time, and God will put that right person in front of you. You have to pray for it. I would go to my priest, go to confession, and talk about how I was feeling despair that I won't find a wife and all, and just feeling sorry for myself. And he reminded me, he's like, "Are you praying for your wife daily?" And I had to think about it. And I'm like, well, maybe not daily, but here and there. Or I would pray and then nothing would happen, so I'd give up. But he he really said something there, which is we have to be praying daily, even if it seems like nothing's happening. You have to continue to pray. And so I think about that. And so when he told me that, I really took an effort to pray daily. And you could be praying daily for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, or longer. But the point is, you don't give up. You don't just pray and you're like, well, it's just not happening. You just continue to pray. You have to pray fervently. That was a lesson I learned, was no matter what, you pray fervently, you don't give up, you know. Um, and it goes back to seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. So if I have any advice, it's to continue to pray, continue to find your future wife, pray for your future spouse, pray that that right person will come in your life. And I think God will make it obvious. Sometimes it just takes time, and sometimes it's a trial and error. I would be concerned when I would be dating, because I'd be like, am I dating too much? Am I like trying too hard? Am I overdoing it by like trying to set up dates, trying to reach out to women online, trying to meet women in real life? Do I need to take a break? Do I need to just let God put the right woman in front of me, and do I just do nothing? And it's both. You have to simultaneously put yourself out there, but also not overdo it. And it's a hard, and it can be confusing that might be confusing to understand, but you have to like be ready, put yourself out there, but also don't let that get in the way of your prayer life and your spirituality and doing what you need to do, going to confession, going to mass, um, fasting, praying, reading, studying, building your life. Um, you have to go through the grind. Time just sometimes is monotonous. It feels like nothing ever changes. Feeling like that for me now with my job and me not really making progress in life. But things do change. It just takes time, and you have to. It's not about it's not about getting what you want and getting the rewards and the gifts in life. It's you're giving glory to God every day and offering up your works up, you know. God gives us these gifts, but it's all for his glory. So when you get these gifts, realize that this is for his glory. You know, it's not just for you. Although these gifts are beautiful and we should be so gracious. Like, I'm grateful I found a wife. God put a woman in my life. But it wasn't just for me and my fulfillment of happiness, it's to glorify him. And so with having a wife, there comes the duty, you know. And I think for men, we are looking for that duty. It's like we want to do the work. We get distracted. The devil tries to push us off our game and gets us into despair and neglect and like carelessness and hopelessness. But in a rightly ordered world, we men want to do the work. We want to have a purpose. We want we want to fulfill that purpose for God's glory because men feel fulfilled when they are on their purpose. And the best way to find your purpose is continue to pray to God, continue to work towards the things, and God God's plan is in front of you. You just got to take the steps. And I hear Friar Anthony reminds me too that even if you make the wrong choice, it's okay. It's okay if you make the wrong choice because it's like either way, you're going to do God's will because you're seeking it. So if you're going left or right on the path, you might make the mistake. You might make made the mistake that you went into the priesthood instead of getting married. Well, you made that choice, and so God's not going to lead you astray. You're just going to go that way, where and see where it takes you. Same with being married. It's like, oh, I might have married the wrong person. Well, you got married, you did the sacrament, and here you are. So go fulfill God's glory, you know, whatever that is. Have a family, do works, and raise your kids up in the faith. At the end of the day, if you're seeking to glorify God, God's not going to lead you astray. So I hope I'm not being too repetitive. I'm just trying to get my thoughts off. But hopefully that I can inspire or help someone that's going through that. You know, the dating game is hard, and maybe in future videos I'll share more specifics or details or how I dealt with that. Loneliness is tough out there for men and for women, and loneliness can put us in the wrong place. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself. You have the right people around you, and you're praying fervently. Do what you can to stay in a community. That's one thing. I'm blessed to be here um, in Phoenix, that there's a strong Catholic community here and plenty of people to connect with. So, with that, I'm going to end it there. Thanks for listening. God bless. Deus Volt. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.